And we are live. I am constantly catching flack because I say NWA and Too Short. Too Short is my favorite rapper, and NWA is my favorite group of all time. And then Public Enemy, and I like KRS-One also. We have with us the pioneer, Alonzo. I remember him from back when I lived on West Side Fresno. In the Fink White area. There was this purple album. They was dressing like Prince. I thought that was crazy. They were dressed like Prince, reminded me of Ready for the World, which their CD I was jamming like crazy. But I don't even know who bought the album. All I know is we had the album. And let me see, what do I remember? Songs I remember were Turn Out the Lights. That affected me most, which I think Alonzo said Dr. Dre had something to do with producing that. I don't remember. I'm getting old, my memory. And that was Miss Chalet singing, I think. Right, Miss Chalet?
Correct, yes.
So there was Turn Out the Lights, and there were songs back in the day like The Fly. Tell me now, correct me if I'm wrong when I get some of this stuff wrong, Lonzo, because this is hip hop history, bro.
The first album, it was Juice, Surgery, Lover, which was actually our first ballad. We had a song called Gang Bang You Dead, Horny Computer, World Class. I think that was about it. We only had like 15 minutes aside back then, so we had to kind of condense it. We didn't put 15, 16 songs on one CD back then.
Bro, like I said, I wasn't buying albums and stuff back there, so it must have been my cousins, like my big cousin Kevin or Susie or something, because we ended up with Blowfly. It was crazy, some of the stuff that we ended up having in my house. My mom and them didn't know about it, so it must have been my cousins. But okay, so Not Without Alonzo. Tell me about that.
Well, being that I'm known here on the West Coast as the godfather of West Coast hip hop, and because people who I discovered have gotten so big, people forget. And even if they know, they still tend to alter the story of how this thing jumped off. And because I am, and I was, and still am, the kind of the focal point of most of the entertainment out of the CPT, I just got frustrated, man. People telling my story and just like editing me down to just a club owner or just a cat that Easy knew, a guy that Dre knew. No. It's bigger than that. It's much bigger than that. And I had to put everything together in my book, NWA, Not Without Alonzo, and let the story unfold in the way that it needs to be done.
Every time I see an artist, I know that they are just the tip of something that goes way deeper, way bigger. There's a whole team and whatever behind all that. And there was something about you getting a deal with CBS, and I'm thinking, okay, how did this man get a deal with CBS? Because this was before the whole NWA stuff.
Right.
Tell me about first, how did you get a deal with CBS?
Well, regardless of what people think about the costumes and everything else we wore back in the day, at that time, like you said, that was the dress of the era, and because we looked like we were the most time appropriate group, CBS came looking for us. We didn't go. I didn't shop that deal. We had I did the album World Class out of my own pocket. Put the money up, recorded it, hired some record promoters. That's a record on the radio around the country, and one of the most powerful cats in the industry at that time, Larkin Arnold, came. He sent a headhunter looking for us. Hey man, Larkin want to give you guys a record deal. And oddly enough, he sent for us, Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, Egyptian Lover, Arabian Prince, and the LA Dream Team all at the same time. And we were the ones that got the deal based on the fact that we had so much variety on our album. We had the most growth potential.
Larkin Arnold.
What
did he do now? What is Arnold?
Larkin Arnold in the record industry, when it comes to black men that have achieved phenomenal success in the record industry, you got a lot of names like Berry Gordy, Gamble and Huff, folks like that. Larkin Arnold was the man of the 80s. Him and Gerald Busby. Gerald Busby was the man behind Cameo and so many other acts. And Larkin was the guy who brought Marvin Gaye from Motown to CBS. He discovered Frankie. He was executive producer of Frankie Beverly and Maze on Capitol. He was the man behind Michael Jackson, coming from Motown to CBS as well. And in fact, we laughed one day. I said one day I remember being in his office, and I saw a check he got from CBS, like $500,000. This dude was one of the few people that I know that got a slice of the Michael Jackson product. I mean, his Thriller album, all that stuff he got. He was the man. He was behind Luther Vandross, Tina Marie, all the big time acts back in the 80s, and he was our executive producer as well.
And he came looking for y'all.
He came looking for us.
Why?
Because we were, at that time, when hip-hop hit, hip-hop, we were like the bridge of hip-hop. We were rappers that looked like R&B artists. And that's what got his attention. We weren't, back then, you didn't wear tennis shoes and grab your nuts and go on stage. You had to put on the show. We were so groundbreaking in our rise to hip hop that we would be the only acts on an all R&B show. So we couldn't go out there in tennis shoes and jeans and t-shirts and hoodies and shit like that. We couldn't do that, man. They ran us off the stage. So we had to compete with Morris Day and the Time, Barcades, Mary Jane Girls. People understand that's how important World Class Record Crew was to this whole hip hop thing. We had to fill that gap. We was the missing link between hip hop and R&B. We rapped, but we looked like R&B singers. Like you said, we looked like Ready for the World. In fact, Ready for the World, Tony used to be our opening acts. That's how it was. Okay, these guys opened for us. We were the headliners. So and because we were rap acts, everybody else was R&B. We were rap acts. Everybody else, it was kind of weird for us. We was in that, nobody knew how to really market us because we had the pretty boy Jerry curl eyeliner look, but we was rapping, and that was unheard of. There was no LL Cool J was around, but he hadn't blown up yet. Run DMC was around, but they were still on their way up. So nobody was really figuring out which way this thing was going to go. And it damn sure wasn't no gangster rappers out there.
Okay, now you said he grabbed Arabian Prince, Bobby Jimmy, and the Critters. These groups were with you already, or they were all doing their separate thing?
They were all doing their separate things. Understand this. We all were distributed by Macola Records. Macola Records was a local distributor here in L.A., and because nobody was checking for L.A. hip-hop, we all had to form our own labels. If you wanted to get a record out in L.A., you had to start your own label. I was one of the first cats to do that. Macola Records was our distributor. Fortunately for me, I used to work for a record distributor selling records over the phone. So I knew how to sell records. Nobody else knew that but me, because I'm the only one that did it. Me and Roger from Uncle Jam's Army worked together at the same place selling records over the phone. And because I had the connections and I still had my list from my record distributor, I was able to sell records when nobody else could, and people kind of followed my footsteps. And as Bobby Jimmy and Critters got more and more popular, same thing with LA Dream Team. Me and Rudy was always collaborating on different ideas and things to do, and I've always been a cat that's kind of been free with information, because it was I never saw anybody as really competition. And everybody at that time, we were the four big dogs at Macola Records. So when Larkin Arnold called, he called for the best, and we were the cream of the crop at that time.
When he called you, what did he actually do? He got you in there and did what?
He sent a guy over to Macola to look for us. Guy was named Pardee. Never forget this guy as long as I live. I haven't seen him since then. He was like he just an angel came out the sky. Hey man, Larkin Arnold wants to meet with you guys over at CBS. Like, right, dude, come and quit playing. No man, for real. Larkin Arnold wants to meet you guys. Back then, record companies had a code that you wouldn't go head hunting other people's acts, okay? But like so many codes, they had ways around it, okay? So, Larkin couldn't make the phone call, so he had a middleman do the phone call. Once we took the phone call, took the meeting, if he found that we were independent, had no real ties to Macola, it was like, okay, cool. But he didn't know that going in. So we had to send somebody over there to make the connection.
And what did he actually do for you?
He gave us $100,000 and told us to make our second album, which was the Wrapped in Romance album.
Wrapped in Romance. That's the one he took care of.
That's the one with the Fly. What else is on there? The Fly, BS, World Class Freak, and a few other songs that I like, but nobody else ever heard.
Yeah, are y'all gonna ever release those?
They got released. They still released. They stay out there someplace. Nobody don't know they exist but me. But the Fly did pretty good for us. It was funny because we had completed the album and turned it in, and Larkin was like, "Okay, before I give y'all this last piece of money, y'all need to bring me another single. What you want us to do?" He said, "Go in the studio and cut me a song that sounds like Jesse Johnson's Free World." And we went in the studio and bit the shit out of Free World and came up with the Fly in like a day. Okay, you listen to Free World, listen to the Fly. It's neck and neck. Okay, and the lyrics are so simple. It was almost embarrassed to say them, but we wanted to get that check, so we went on, knocked it out. Took it to him in a couple of days.
The Fly, yeah, Let It Land on You.
Let It Land on You. The Fly, yeah, Let It Take Control. The Fly, in the Sugar Bowl.
Bro, that was the jam.
Oh yeah, it was a jam back then. Now you know we wasn't graded on our lyrics. We was graded on our dance ability.
Okay, so McCullough, and you said Petey was an agent.
He was like a independent agent, put it that way.
Okay, so L.A. Dream Team, Arabian Prince, Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, and you guys.
Yep.
Okay, now you had said on one of the interviews, I think this one was with Vlad, that Ice Cube was this youngster, and he had these lyrics. Stereo Crew. When did you actually realize that Ice Cube was actually good? When did it finally hit you? Huh? After he left?
I mean, he was understand this, Doc. I met Cube. He was like 15. He might have just turned 15. And when we went to Larkin, he asked us, "Do we have any more groups?" And I'm like, yeah, I do, because I just met Cube them at World on Wheels about 2 weeks earlier. Dre's cousin Jinx was also in the group. It was Stereo Crew at the time, and he said, "Well, let me hear what you got." Okay. And we went to the studio. Dre put together this answer record to. It was called She's a Skag. It was like the reverse of Fly Girls. Okay. It was like the diss of Fly Girl. Remember Fly Girl? Fly Girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Fly Girl. Yeah.
Right. It was like the diss to that. It was called She's a Skag. Okay. And Larkin gave us a single deal for She's a Skag. And he gave me a single deal for Stereo Crew, which was, like I said, a bunch of minors, Jinx, Ice Cube, and KD. Everybody's still in high school. My first record deal, and I had to go hire a lawyer for them to negotiate with my lawyer to get the deal done. And the record didn't do all that great, and then it kind of fell to the side. They got dropped first, and we went back to Crew Cut, back to McCullough, with our tails between our legs, and dropped. They changed the name from Stereo Crew to CIA, and then they came out with this EP that sounded like a Beastie Boy knockoff, 3 Beastie Boy sounding songs, because the Beastie Boys was the bomb at that time. So Ice Cube has always been a great lyricist. It's just that he didn't find his voice until he got with NWA.
CIA stood for what?
Crew in Action.
Crew in Action?
Yeah.
But he didn't. So he was. Okay. So then when NWA came out, he's simply a prolific writer. He wasn't a real actual gangster.
No,
I mean, because he really had us, bro. Like, they really had us, especially Cube. That's just good writing, huh?
That's good writing. I mean, you know, I was on an interview a couple of weeks ago, and a young lady was like, "I just love me some Cube. He's a real gangster." I said, "What gang is he from?" "He from," and she just sat there. I said, "What gang is he from? He a gangster?" And you have never heard anybody from NWA ever claim a Sept. They from Compton. Compton claimed to have 110 gangs. Which one were they from? You never heard that. It never happened. Nobody ever claimed a Sept until DJ Quik and Snoop did that. NWA never claimed a Sept. In fact, if you remember correctly from the movie, they were just reporters of what they saw in the streets. The news made them gangster rappers. Okay, they were not initially gangster rappers. They were just keeping it real with the Panic Zone and Express Yourself. That was their initial stuff, and then they dropped F the Police. That coincided so well with the Rodney King situation, everything just went to another direction. People don't understand. It wasn't like they started off being gangster rappers. That's why I laugh at the movie, because that never happened. That was never the intention.
I remember Panic Zone. That intro was that beginning, that beat. Y'all had some beat like dancing stuff, bro.
They understood back then that you had to give people something to dance to. That's where Wrecking Crew, LA Dream Team, Egyptian Lover, we all are dance music groups, and you had to do the same thing in order to keep up your appearance. You know, keep your turntable ability. You know, you have to stay on the turntables. You can't get on the turntables playing no gangster rap. But you can, but you gotta do it like Dre did it. Everything Dre ever did has been danceable. I played it in clubs many a time. Most of Cube stuff is danceable. No Vaseline is a great dance record. Okay, same thing with anything Snoop did. His early stuff, all of it was great party music. They had the beats to it, and that was the key to their success. It wasn't until later on that people stopped being concerned about the dance floor and just more about, you know, killing and shooting or whatever the case may be.
On the killing and shooting and the gangster stuff, when I talk to elders and some pro-black people, they constantly say that the government was behind NWA doing that type of music. What do you say?
I wouldn't say the government was behind it per se. I think people in power saw, because at that time, let's go back for a minute, okay? You had your Public Enemy, you had your Will Smith, and you had your NWA, okay? You had the Hammer type stuff that was totally harmless. You had the Will Smith stuff that was harmless, okay? You had Public Enemy, who was conscious. People thought Public Enemy was changing the streets. Then you come up behind with NWA, and they're talking a whole other situation. Now it's not so much that I think the government has something to do with it. I think that the shift of attention came. Okay, it's like in the record business, whatever sticks, that's what they roll with, and they made sure that stuck. Put it that way. Okay.
Who made sure what stuck? What do you mean?
They made sure gangster rap. They made sure gangster rap stuck, because they know that if people understood the power and the influence of music, you'd understand why it was important. Because while they're doing one thing, allowing gangster rap to take root and focus and spread around the country, you also flooding the streets with dope. Meanwhile, they changing all the laws that says crack cocaine gets you this amount of time, where powder cocaine only would get you treatment. Okay, but who sells the powder cocaine? Who sells the crack cocaine? Who listens to the gangster rap? The gangster rap started promoting how to sell and package crack cocaine. So now, in the meantime, folks, they privatize the prisons. So shoot, I mean, the NWA may have opened up that door, but a whole lot more people help fill that void.
Now, when I went to the premiere of the NWA movie, like the Grammy sent this thing out where we could go watch the movie premiere before it came out. I asked, there's some people there who participated in creating the movie. I asked something about the timeliness of that movie and blah, blah, blah. And they stepped back from it like, oh, no, I don't even want to deal with that. The whole police brutality stuff. How did you feel? Besides, I know you loved watching yourself on the movie, but how did you feel about the timeliness of that with the police brutality stuff going on? People saying, oh, like acting like it's new when this stuff has been going on for a long time. How did you feel about the timeliness of the movie, or what were your thoughts?
Well, you know what? I didn't give that a whole lot of thought, only because if you live in the hood like I do, somebody always getting their ass whooped, okay? It's not always being filmed. So to see it, and I think that's what NWA did to the rest of America, and the Rodney King situation did to the rest of America. NWA spoke on what we know is a common occurrence here in the hood, okay? But when they spoke on it, people didn't believe it until they saw it with Rodney King. They were telling the truth, okay? So it just validated what they were saying, and that just made it that much bigger. And because it had that stopped and it's constantly still going on, it's been elevated even more with folks, more and more people being shot by the police. It just made for a very interesting time for everybody.
Okay, now what's the charity that you have?
I have a nonprofit I'm forming right now. It's called the Lyrical Revolution. Lyrical Revolution is my personal baby, because I just feel that so many new artists don't have the insight or the wherewithal to understand the power they have in their lyrics. And as a grown-ass man, I just feel it's my responsibility to do something to try and guide those who want to be guided. If you don't want to conform to what I feel is, and not really censoring, but just something that's going to be positive or going to be useful in society or motivational, I ain't mad at you, but don't get mad at me.
Okay, so what's the idea? You get rappers in and you help them write?
I'm looking for rappers who got something to say. I'm looking to work with folks who got something to say, something that's conscious, something that's motivating. Understand this, being that I'm a child from the 60s, grew up with Curtis Mayfield, grew up with Marvin Gaye, there's no way in the world the stuff that's going on in this society would be going on and nobody would speak out on it on record. Now I'm quite sure somebody has. It's just nobody's hearing it because it's being drowned out by all the bull. Okay, the one person that's speaking out on it is Colin Kaepernick, and it's just amazing that here we are in 2016. The only person that's getting any attention for protesting the injustice is a football player. Now you would think that would lead a bunch of songwriters to follow that lead. If it does, maybe it does, but nobody with any significance is following the lead. Kendrick Lamar, with the exception of Kendrick Lamar, but for the most part, everybody else's business as usual. Let's just kill some more niggas. Let's drink some more Ciroc, and do some more twerking, smoke some more weed, and do some more low riding and stuff. Meanwhile, folks are dying in the street. I just saw today on Facebook that Chicago has hit the over 500 mark as far as murders. Come on, man. Come on. I don't know what the reason is. I have no idea, but it's real hard. And I'm going to get blasted for this right here, but it's real hard when, I ain't saying all the lives are black, it's real hard to have Black Lives Matter if they don't matter to us. I'm just sorry. It just don't make no sense to me, man. I've said this before, and it really, really gets me in trouble. Well, that's just part of what didn't affect the attention. Man, that's how the whole shit gets started in the first place. If you don't respect yourself won't nobody else respect you. Okay? Bottom line, respect starts within. So I tell you what, you ain't gonna never have what happened to us happen to the brothers with the yarmulkes. It ain't gonna happen. They're gonna have a fit. They ain't gonna just buy some T-shirts and some candles and protest. They gonna organize. And like I saw today on Facebook again, it ain't that we outmanned. It's just we out organized. Okay, we can't coordinate with the pastors who have masses of people's attention. They're not gonna say nothing. No, they better interfere with their money. Don't get me started on that, man. Please, don't get me. That's a pet peeve of mine. But my job at this point with my nonprofit is to try and change the mindset through lyrics, whether it be spoken word or rap, whatever the case may be. I figure people got more to say. After 25, 30 years of shooting and killing, I would think you got something more to say other than this. Keep on twerking, keep on drinking, keep on smoking. Hey, it's a new face up there.
That's Ben, Dave 4, and David have come in.
What's up, man?
I had forced artists to well, here's how I went. I brought some artists in and said, okay, y'all ain't paying for nothing. You're gonna have some songs. This and the song that's gonna come out has to be to where grandma can listen to it with her grandchild. Those that had a fit could exit the building. Those that stayed started putting in work, and that's all it took. They got creative. They had no choice, because I'm watching people submit all the time to forces out there, and I'm like, oh, y'all just not gonna man up. So I created a situation where, okay, y'all just gonna bow, or you gonna bow to this. So just a little, you might want to try that on somebody. And
it's amazing, dude. I see artist interviews on Vlad, on various shows, whatever the case may be. And one cat, Lil Yachty, I ain't got to drop no 16 bars. People don't do that no more. Well, man, at least they do speak English. Can you at least speak English, bro? That's all I'm asking for. Can you say something other than the same thing over and over again? So the beat, why don't we just do instrumentals? If that's the case. If the beat is that banging, just do instrumentals. Don't say nothing. But you're giving folks credit for doing stuff that the person who made the track is actually driving the song. If you did something, if you said something on a banging track, do you know how much impact that would have? Because what people don't understand is that records are mini commercials. Whatever message you want to get, it has to be done through frequency, whether it be McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whatever the case may be. If you want to get a message across, it's done through frequency in what you hear. So if you want to get folks keep pushing cocaine, I'm in love with the cocoa. I'm in love with the cocoa. And that becomes what I call a brain stain, okay? And it gets into your mind subliminally, and it just makes you desensitized to situations around you.
Okay, I agree. Now, Jerry Heller just died. You and him remain friends, correct?
We cool, yeah, we're cool.
What can you tell me about Jerry Heller as far as your experience with Jerry Heller?
He could have saved that. He could have saved his money in that lawsuit. He could have saved that money. Okay. I mean, when you are part of something, man, and you up close, personal, in the trenches, okay, and you see and you know how things are and were, okay. I'm like, dude, come on, man. And last time I talked to him, we talked about the lawsuit. And he was, how do you feel about your character being portrayed in the movie? You know what? Anybody that knows me, know I'm not a hater, okay? But, and maybe this could be a little sellout, but I don't think so. But anybody that knows me, anybody that's a boss of any situation, whether it be a radio station, McDonald's, you're going to make decisions and say things that people don't agree with. Whether it be your kids or whatever the case may be. Most of the time, parents and kids are always feuding because the kids don't appreciate or don't like what the mom and daddy say. I was the boss, okay? Now, people take that situation and flip it into today. The scenario and what you saw in the movie, for me, never happened in real life. That scenario never happened in real life. I did have to go off on Dre about something else, but that wasn't it. Okay? Historically, I have never in all my life heard Ice Cube do a gangster lyric live. Okay? I've never been to an NWA concert. It was when he was with me. Trust me, there were no gangster lyrics. It was all Beastie Boy imitations. No disrespect to the brother by no means, but in making a movie, you have to sensationalize situations, okay? And Jerry's character was actually very mild compared to the real Jerry Heller, okay? It was very mild. Jerry can be very condescending at some points in time. He got upset with somebody, everybody around him felt it, okay? Everybody felt it. You can walk into the studio, hey man, how's it? You know, I'm not a person that likes to be hollered at, okay? Don't holler at me. I ain't had a job in 40 years. Don't holler at me, okay? That's why I don't have a job. So I got to put up that kind of bullshit, okay? So understanding the situation, like I said, man, you could have saved that money and did something else. I saw on Facebook where his lawyers said that the stress of the case may have been the cause of his death. You pulling a whole lot of strings now, dude. You reaching way out there. But you know, it is what it is. May he rest in peace.
Okay. Any of you guys have any questions for him? I got a whole list over here, but I want to get you guys in. And welcome, Beth. You got okay? Go ahead, Ben. What's cracking? Say hello.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Hey, I have a question for you. What are your favorite bass players of all time?
Who that?
What are your favorite bass players of all time?
My favorite bass players of all time?
Yeah.
When it comes to names, I got to go with Bootsy, okay? But some of my bass lines came from Slave. I don't know the bass player's name, but I think it was Drac from Slave. He was one of my favorite when it came to bass lines that really got you grooving back in the day. Because bass lines are kind of optional right now, okay? Bootsy was the man that made the baddest songs that was a bass player. Some of the best bass lines that I heard from my musical era was from, I got to say Drac. That's what I believe it was, from Slave.
And next question is, because with music now, with all the synth basses and all the bass modules and possibility for sounds, you know, if you want that real live bass sound, but it doesn't sound as big, how do you deal with that competition between live and synth?
You know what? There are so many different modules you can get. What we used to do sometimes was double the bass. We would double the keyboard with a real bass player. Kevin O'Neill from the Bus Boys played in a few of our songs back in the day. There are a few guys here on the West Coast, Cornelius Mims, Kevin O'Neill. These guys played on everybody's songs, along with Stan the Guitar Man, that led the lot of the licks you hear on a lot of the stuff early NWA, Ice Cube stuff. Those were like the Torture Chamber. That's the name of the group. The group called Torture Chamber was the rhythm section for a lot of the stuff you heard on NWA stuff. But when it came to bass players, you got Stan the Guitar Man and also X-Man. And these guys that I know personally that put it down real tough in a very funky way.
So what percentage of the tracks were like had two basses on them versus live bass versus synth bass? Would you say the majority of that sound, that car shaking and just sound, that bass sound?
Anything you heard from Dre, especially after Wrecking Crew, usually would have they would have double tracks on the bass, and the bass would syncopate with the kick drum. Okay, a lot of that's where you got a lot of your bottom from. The bass would be syncopated with the kick drum, and that, or all them low frequencies come at the same time. You had to have big speakers, because if I got a picture of Dre, well, not a picture of Dre. I bought this picture. It's a Memorex poster of this guy sitting in a chair with his head blown back and a Drake falling over, because Drake would always have speakers so loud. He would, I mean, it was almost like a damn wind tunnel. And he had, the studio we recorded in had to add in some Sermon Vega bass bottoms to make sure he got enough punch, because Drake would always blow out speakers.
So that there was usually a couple bass parts, or would it be like one synth bass and one live bass, or would it be two live bass guitars? On
our first song, World Class, we had a deep bass. We had a synthesized bass, and Kevin O'Neill detuned his bass guitar to give us a lower frequency and played the same thing on top of it. Okay. Which was unheard of. It was unheard of. I never heard anybody do it before, but it gave us the richness that we wanted on that particular song. That song had the bass solo on there. World Class had the bass solo that was done on the keyboard and on a bass guitar as well.
And you blend them together.
Blend them together.
And does that create a lot of mud sometimes, like over mud, or how do you deal with the over mud?
It all depends on the how you EQ it. Okay, if with an 808, if it with an 808, you can't open it up too much because it will get muddy. Okay, but if you put the right compressor on there, it'll keep it tight without getting muddy.
Okay.
Or the gate, or a gate or the compressor, one of them. But if you put the right gate and compressor on there, it'll keep it tight, give it the punch without the rattle.
I just bought Trillion. Have you ever heard of Trillion?
No.
This bass module, it's the best money I ever spent. It was like $300 or something, but it's made by a company called Spectrasonics, and it's
how you spell it?
It's made by a company called Spectrasonics, and the name of the plugin is called Trillion. Trillian. Trillion, yeah. And
okay.
It's the total bass module. So it has acoustic upright basses. It has sampled studios basses like Marcus Miller and all the cats. And then it has this library of synth basses. So it just has the bottom end pretty much covered.
So it's a plug-in or it's an actual module?
It's a plug-in. It's a virtual instrument that you can use with any like Pro Tools or Logic, but I think it's like 40 gigabytes of bass sound libraries. It's pretty extensive. So I'm trying to use that, but I also want to get that live bass feel. So I'm trying to learn how to combine the two elements, because it's not as easy as I thought.
No, it's not. So guys have to be good. You have to hire a good musician to follow, because what you can do on the keyboard sometimes is more difficult to do on the bass guitar, or vice versa.
Trillion, you guys, everybody who makes music needs Trillion. I just got.
I'm writing it down right now.
All right, I'm good. Thank you so much. Those are my questions.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Dave, what are you working on now? I forget. You posted it and I shared it. What is it?
I'm mastering an album for Baby Bash that's got some cats, E40 and Miguel and some other dudes on it that's supposed to be released in about another month, I think. But I had a question for Lonzo regarding the current state of, well, let's talk about the 2016 XXL freshman class and all the mumble rappers that are being brought into the spotlight and representing hip hop. How do you feel about that? What's your take on it?
Well, you know what, Dave? As a kid who grew up with a speech impediment, I did. Okay, I used to stutter. I used to have a lisp, and sometimes if I did not articulate or open my mouth, you can understand the word I was saying. I talk fast too. So for me to have to go to school and learn how to articulate just to be a DJ, okay? To hear these guys make records and you can't understand a word they saying, okay? It kind of pisses me off because I spend a lot of time trying to figure out ways not to sound like them, okay? But it also shows you the decline of the whole musical game, man. I don't want to just disrespect nobody's music, man, but it's, you know, as a guy who grew up in lyrical times, when you grew up with Tupac and Cube and Biggie and Nas and all these guys, you know, Eric B, and who could not only write but deliver in a way that was so prolific. All of a sudden now you got guys as mumbling. Could you imagine these guys having a battle rap? How you gonna pick the goddamn winner? Because they don't say shit nobody can understand. Okay, he just repeated himself. Oh man, he said the same word 200 times. That's the winner. What was the word? I don't know what the word was. Shit, he just said it 200 times. That makes no sense, man. I mean, imagine the LL Cool J, Kool Moe Dee wars of the 80s, man. That people loved that stuff because it was so much great writing and comments. Even the DJ Quik and MC8 war of the 90s, okay? That had it was like when Quik dropped that line, your name, what he says, with your misspelled name, need I continue? You left out the G because the G ain't in you. Come on, man. You don't get that was one of the most prolific lines that I ever heard. These guys, all they can do is cuss you out. There's no real passion for lyrical content, you know. Especially, well, it may be, but it's not getting the exposure that I feel it deserves. You know, a real art takes some creativity, and a lot of these guys, they all look alike. Everybody got braids, everybody got tattoos, everybody got the mumble rap, everybody got the same producers, almost on the same track. All they doing is riding success and the look of another guy. One guy's braids are red, one guy's are blue, other one's purple. Got tattoos on one arm, you know, one guy's tattoos on the left arm. All that is I have no problem with none of that. Just be creative. One thing about us being from the old school, LA Dream Team, World Class Record Crew, Egyptian Lover, all had dance music, but you knew all our songs were different. We all looked alike. You never got us confused. And it's the same thing with Tupac and Biggie. You wouldn't get Tupac and Biggie confused. There's no way. One's a little small guy, one's a big giant. Okay, but they all delivered in a way that was prolific and a pleasure to listen to 20 years later.
Yep.
Okay.
I feel like pop has hijacked hip hop, and I don't know. I try and teach people. I have guys that used to listen to rap when they were younger, and they come to me now and they're like, what can I listen to that's current today? And it's tough for me to recommend stuff that's in the mainstream right now because it's so misrepresented as what hip hop really is. And it's to me it's really disappointing when XXL and their freshman class, you know, the guys that they're promoting, it's like they're just conforming to the pop standard, and hip hop is like, I don't know, it's becoming diluted. I'd love to help save it, but you've got people that are calling it authentic hip hop, and it's not, just solely because the mainstream has that grip hold on the masses, and that's what they're pushing right now, and I don't get it.
Well, it's the same thing that happened when you got your gangster rap. People that program the music from the ivory towers, they're not in the streets. They think they know what people want to hear because somebody liked one particular song. Just like I said earlier in the interview, the people in the towers that make the record and make the hits or direct the artists, they want to hear what's already hit. Most people don't have no creativity. Some of your best songs were B-sides. Okay, some of your best songs should have never came out would have never came out if it wasn't for the artists fighting for him. Okay? A guy like Prince, understand, Prince was talking about getting ahead back in 1980, 1979. Okay? He was talking about getting ahead, getting a blowjob. Okay? That record would have never came out. It never got any real airplay. But him as an artist, it was so prolific, and then he had so much other stuff to back him up, it just turned him into an icon. Okay, well, these guys nowadays, they don't say nothing creative. It's all, whatever it is, that's what they're going to say. And, you know, I don't know, I would much rather them not call it hip-hop. Call it what you want. Call it mumble music, okay?
Yeah.
Call it deaf mute music.
I call it new rap.
It's a deaf mute trying to have a conversation, but don't call it hip hop. That ain't what hip hop is. That ain't what we. That ain't what we fought for. That ain't what we created. That's not what we did.
Exactly. Thanks for that perspective. I appreciate that.
Thank you for asking, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Let's see. Anybody else? Beth or David? You have a question for him or no? Looks like David's not here. The documentary that you have coming out, tell us about that.
Well, you know what? I'm in everybody's documentary. You cannot do an accurate documentary about West Coast hip hop without having Lonzo in it. Michelet's documentary is coming out in a few weeks. I think it's The Girl That Survived Compton, a story about her and Dr. Dre. And there's a guy portraying me in the movie, that one as well. There's her movie and documentary is coming out. I'm personally in her documentary and in her movie, but what I realize is every time I sit in front of a camera, everybody wants to focus on the same thing. That's cool. I know they're the big names, but I just feel that the story is bigger than just that. You know, the root, the tree may span, I don't know, 100 feet in the air, but the roots go all the way to the core. The roots is what keeping the tree in place. Okay, so I'm the root of the West Coast hip hop, and because it's not just hip hop. I was a DJ, dance promoter, club owner, record owner, group performer, songwriter, distributor, label owner. I did all this. Okay, not only did I do this for me, but by me doing this, I paved the way for guys like Easy to feel comfortable enough to own the label. Because before I did it, no hip hop artist was owning the label and in the group. Either you was Russell Simmons or LL Cool J. Either you was Russell Simmons or Houdini. Nobody did this till it came to the West Coast. We had a totally different route than anybody else had in this hip hop game. And because all my roots are in Compton. I fell in love with DJing at Campanella Park in Compton. One of my first DJ gigs was at an all-girls school, Regina Chaley in Compton. My club that I got when I was 22 years old was just outside of Compton. I learned how to sell records over the phone in Compton from a distribution company called Record Shack Records. So all these things, and me and Dre being raised on the same street, and Jinx and Q being best friends, all these things came together to make a perfect circle, make a perfect storm that I'm right in the middle of. And when it comes to dance promoters, I was the hottest DJ in LA for a long time. Me and Uncle Jam's Army, I was their first DJ. Okay, after we left McCullough's record distributor, I thought it was my idea to create our own distribution company, West Coast Record Distributors. Okay, so I have done so much, and through West Coast, I gave birth to Rodney and Joe Cooley, Compton's Most Wanted, JJ Fad. All these things came from the mind and the efforts of what I did. I don't want to say to blow my horn, but like they say, if only time you can blow the horn correctly, only time you can hit the right tune is when you blow on the horn. If somebody else blow the horn, they're gonna change the tune. Okay, so all these things came through my efforts, and I want the story to be known, because not that I'm all at the bag of chips, but I've done a lot. Okay, and as I get older, if something happened to me, my story is gonna get diluted. In fact, I've seen it diluted so much. That's what inspired me to write my book. When people tell me, "Hey, yeah, Lonzo, a friend of Eazy-E's," no. I'm the one that hand carried Eazy-E to the record business. I'm the one that took him to the lawyer, put him with Jerry Heller, put him in the studio, the whole 9 yards. All these things came through me. Well, Ice Cube, Ice Cube was 15 years old. I had to hire a lawyer to do the blah, blah, blah. Ice Cube came through me. I gave him a start. Ice Cube left my house going to college, came back to join NWA. Because I was a club owner, I had all the attention of all the people in the city. And the same thing with Doodles and Skateland, and I'm the only promoter in the city that ever had 2 venues right next door to each other. Okay, so when you see Skateland or Doodles, and you talk about NWA never saw Doodles. I know that. They won't tell you that. NWA never saw Doodles. Doodles was actually they formed NWA on the second go-round of Doodles. Okay? NWA was formed, and they started Doodles at Skateland. We were still world-class wrecking crew at Doodles. Eazy-E, I think he may have showed up once or twice, but the story is been reworked for movie purposes. I'm not mad about that, but like they said, the book is always better than the movie, because the book can go into details that the movie has to kind of skim over for time's sake. And like I said before, my legacy is what it is. What's up, Doc?
The only way for us to, like, I go around asking elders what the real deal is, so that we can gain some knowledge from that and repeat, like, do some of the stuff that the elders did. And that's the only way for us to be able to do that, is for us to get the truth about what actually happened. Stuff that really went down. Like we did a hangout with Herb Trawick, and he was talking about people over at Solar Record being held up by their neck off the floor. Real deal stuff on what went down. So where do we get your book? Because I'm going to get your book. So where do I get your book at?
My book is available on Amazon at Amazon or Kindle. Or if you want an autographed copy, go to my website, LonzoWilliams.com, and you can order it right there. I will send you an autographed copy. Okay. I sell the book and the DVD. I have a DVD out as well. The DVD is called Once Upon a Time in Compton. It's a package. Both of them are $20. I'll sign both of them or one of them if you want to, and I'll ship it to you directly myself. That's what I do. Some people just want the book. Once Upon a Time in Compton. That's the DVD. $20 plus shipping. You get both of them. Like $23 depending on where you're at. As long as you're not outside the country, that should kill you.
All right, so I'm gonna get. I don't want to order that shit over the internet. I'm gonna try to get mine in person. But so maybe came in. You got any questions? You just came in real quick. You got any questions already that you came in with, or shall I just continue what I'm doing? Yep, you got to unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think as I was trying to come in, I was watching it on my other computer. He didn't already answer the question. So
he's already answered it?
Yeah, he didn't already answered it.
All right.
All right.
You said something about an all-girls club in Compton?
Yeah, well, no, it's an all-girls school.
School?
It was an all-girls school called Regina Chaley. I was one of our first DJ gigs. And that gig right there. Two things happened at that gig right there. See, this is where it's important that old school cats tell their stories, because as a new DJ who was borrowing records from his buddy and his stereo from his buddy to do this gig to make $60, okay, I'm entertaining 100 kids with a home stereo, one turntable, okay. I didn't get to two turntables till about the third or fourth gig. I had another buddy had a turntable, and I would actually rent a small PA system and plug both turntables into the PA system and mix records back and forth, okay? But along with getting my DJ chops up, what I recall that was so significant, especially for me, is that I would be entertaining 100, 150 kids in a gymnasium with no security guards, none. The only security guards we had was nuns with rulers, okay? And they ran it. They kept a lid on it, man, okay? In fact, I tell the story in my book. They didn't want me to play slow records at the school, right? But the girls love slow records. You know, Catholic school girls, they're a special breed, and I love them, okay? But they kept play this, and the high cut back then was "I Want to Get Next to You" by Rolls Royce. So I'm playing Car Wash and Do Your Dance. Play "I Want to Get Next to You," and the girls would, you know, they grab a guy and they start slow dancing, and them nuns would jam my ass, man. You see them come across the floor. You ever see that Wizard of Oz and the witch music? You know, da 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 da. They come make a beehive line for my ass, right? And she told me, she looked me dead in the face. Don't play no more slow records like that. Okay, sister so and so. Now my problem was there was a elementary school across the street that I went to. The nuns who were patrolling, I'm going to say patrolling or chaperoning the dance, knew me from the school, okay? So I'm still little Eric Williams in her mind. I'm 19 years old. She didn't give a damn, all right? So the girls begged me. I put on another slow record. The nun ran over to me, man, this is no lie, grabbed me by my ear, put a ruler to my nose like a pistol. And I'm sitting here trying to, you know, okay, sister so-and-so. She says, play another slow record and see what happened. And I'm sitting there going, I'm 19 years old. I'm punked out, okay? All right, sister so-and-so, no problem. And I'm sorry, before she got to me, she took her ruler and knocked the arm off the record, okay? And then she got me by my ear, pulled me down, she's short, put a ruler to my nose like a pistol, and tell me, don't be playing no more slow records here, or you'll never play here again. Okay, no problem. That was my last time at Regina Chelly, man. But I said that to say this. I remember playing the gig with no security guards. Right around the corner, a few years later, quite a few years later, in order for me to open up Dudos, I had to hire the Compton PD to be my security. Okay, so same city, different time. Okay, I go from nuns with rulers holding down 150 kids till I have to go hire off-duty cops for 14, 15-year-olds to keep killing each other. Okay, this is my transition. This is why my story is so significant, because I've been up close and personal to the transition from one level to another. Most people ain't seen what I said. I've been DJing since I was 18 years old, man. I'm 59, okay? I'm a grown-ass man, so I've been doing this for a long time. I've been DJing longer than most companies been in business, okay? So for me to see, and I've been doing most of it in my neighborhood. I've owned my club since 1979. I still have that club to this day. I still run what used to be the Eve After Dark, okay? I still run it today. That's called a loft now. I do a totally different situation. I'm doing some hip-hop type situations now, but for years I wouldn't touch them, okay? Because they were too volatile, all right? And that's why I'm doing my lyrical revolution. Bottom line is, I have seen the rise and fall and I've seen the good and the bad times of this hip-hop situation like nobody else has, okay? I'm not telling you what somebody told me about in a thesis or I read about. I've seen this firsthand, and that's what makes it so significant. And not only did I see it firsthand, I saw the people who changed it, okay? I've seen the streets change. I've seen how when I was at Eve After Dark in 79 to 1986, it was one way. When I went to do those, it was a little different. But when I went to Skateland, it was even more different. And then when I came back to Eve After Dark in the 90s, oh my God, it was a whole different place, man. So, you know, I've done this. I've been doing this for a long time, so I understand the significance, and I think people need to see that history of how things have transitioned, how, you know, it just changed for the worse, and a lot of, and the best for a lot of, in some ways.
You said the best what subways?
It's changed for the worst, and because it was so bad, it's had an effect to make things better in some ways.
Better how?
People are, in some cases, a lot more conscious. Because everybody, once upon a time, it was so cool to be a gangster. Everybody was going to do some gangster shit. Everybody, the slightest sign of disrespect, call for gangster shit, okay? Somebody step on your shoe, accidentally do something, you had to shoot them. You had to fight them. Now, because so many people are perceived to be crazy, everybody perceives everybody to be crazy, so everybody got a different level of respect, okay? You follow me?
Yeah.
The same thing that would get you jumped on or maybe even shot back in the day, brother will apologize, because most cats don't want no problems, okay? A lot of guys don't want no problem. Hey, man, I don't want no problem. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to do that. And that's all. A lot of times, that's all you got to do. But because it was so fashionable back in the day to jump on somebody or knock somebody out or beat somebody down, you know, it kind of raised the level. Now we still have those issues, but I don't have them like I used to.
Okay. Now the artist. Lyrical
Revolution.
What was it? Lyrical Revolution?
Revolution. I'm looking for lyrical revolutionaries.
Okay, so when they get with you, what exactly are you going to do for them or wanting to do for them?
The same thing you talked about earlier. I want you to start focusing on lyrics that affect you in your city. I want you to speak out about what's happening around you. Don't get caught up on the radio. Don't worry about Power 106. Let's talk about stuff that affects you in your house, talk about the reality raps. Talk about what you're going through in your life. Now you would think, for example, as many brothers go through the child support system, that somebody would have made a rap about how messed up it is for a brother. Okay, just to see your kid. Ain't never heard it before. Okay, you would think by now that somebody would have made a bomb ass rap to his baby mama, to the court. Hey man, I just want to see my kid. You make it unaffordable for me to see my kid. Why does it cost me so much money to be with my child? Okay, is it because it costs that much money, or y'all just want to rip me off because y'all basically a collection agency, and the more money that passed through my hands to hers, y'all get a bigger cut. Bottom line, it has nothing to do with the welfare of the child. Okay, it's all about the child support system is a collection agency. Every time money goes from him to her, they get a cut. Simple as that.
Okay, so once an artist does this, what I'm saying, are you setting up a label where you'll help promote them?
Yes.
Anything like that? Or
yes, I'm looking for people that's going to speak on the reality issues of today's what we're dealing with. Okay, I mean, I seen a couple of things people have thrown together. About when my man Eric Gardner, was like Eric Gardner, brother with the cigarettes, I can't breathe, and you know it was thrown together. You know, back in the day, we did they did the Same Game. That was a great song, man. Michael Jackson did "We Are the World."
Lonzo, you got muted. Ben accidentally muted you. You got to unmute yourself. Take your cursor up to the top.
I got it.
Back in the day, we had "We Are the World."
Yeah, back then we had "We Are the World," and you would think with all the Trayvon Martin and the Eric Gardners and everybody else that's going down, you would think that we would have more people with something to say. We got something to say on Facebook. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Facebook has become the voice of the people. But no, you got to, once that timeline is over with, it's done. You got to put it, you got to record it, you got to keep it in people's faces, because the only way they're going to get it is through reputation.
Okay, so you're setting up a record label and you're going to actually help them produce the album and promote it?
I'm setting up a situation where it's going to be like, just like XXL has their class of 2016.
Yes.
It's going to be the world class of 2016, featuring the artists that I'm working with. Okay, the brothers and sisters who have something to say that I feel is worthy of to be heard by the world. If I got to go to every internet radio station in the world to get it done, then that's what I got to do.
Okay, and if they come in and they actually got talent, but they need a little help, say they wrote some, I don't know, whatever they need help production-wise, are you going to figure out a way to help them get that taken care of too, or they need to come with product already done?
I got producers chomping at the bit to get with somebody, man. I got producers right now chomping at the bit to give with people that got something to say. Most of the guys that I deal with are of the anti-mumble rap situation. They're like, man, I can't put my beat behind that shit right there. I can't do it, dude. I don't want to sell my soul like that, man. You know,
I feel you. I feel them.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something. What I heard just the other day. A buddy of mine, he travels with what's that guy DJ that made my nigga. Help me out.
Y'all gonna have to help him. I know the song, but I can't remember.
Brother, he's located out of Carson. Anyway, he's a DJ. I can't think of his name offhand right now. And he says he was the DJ who made the song was the opening act for Skrillex in Oklahoma or Idaho or someplace was predominantly a white city. He said for the first time in his life, he felt really self-conscious and really, what they say, he felt some kind of way, okay? Because he had all these white people saying, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, okay? And it's like, he said, man, I understood what the old folks been telling us for the first time. It hit me, okay? What we do amongst ourselves, but one thing to take it to the public and make it okay, and I know it sounds like a double standard, and it is, but it just, he says, man, I just really felt bad, okay? I felt alone. I felt violated because you got so many people singing the song, and it wasn't directed at him personally by no means. He just felt uncomfortable, okay? I said I felt extremely uncomfortable because, you know, and they were singing the song with so much, you know, with so much freedom, and, you know, it's like the meaning finally hit him what came to him, okay? And I said, this is what old folks been saying forever, man. You know, it's like there's some things that it's hard to get over, okay? And you may get over it because you never felt it before. I was talking to a guy in the gym this morning. He said the same thing. There's some things that, you know, I don't know about you personally, but if there is a nickname that you was called in high school that you was, you know, that irritated you, and if you saw somebody from high school right now and they called you that name, you might get pissed off, okay? Huh? That name might not mean nothing to nobody else, okay? It might not mean nothing to nobody else. My brother's nickname was Idaho Potato, okay? My brother had a lumpy head, and my uncle called him Idaho Potato. My brother was 40 years old. If he wanted to piss him off, call him an Idaho Potato, okay? Call him Potato Head, okay? That was his nickname. They called him Potato Head, okay? And my uncle, and that name meant nothing to nobody else. But my brother, if you called him Idaho Potato Head at 40 some odd years old, man, you had a fight in your hands.
All right. Lisa at Egyptian Empire Records. What can you tell me about?
Oh! Oh my God! Oh, man, I was doing good. I've been using my church vocabulary and everything, man. Come on, Doc.
Wow.
Man, you know, we at that time, we formed West Coast. We all came together, the West Coast powerhouses. Egyptian Lover, unknown DJ, Rudy Pardee from the LA Dream Team, and myself, I had the idea that because we were the powerhouses at Macola, we should leave Macola and form our own distribution company. And we did. We went to Rainbow Records, a pressing plant here in LA, and they gave us collectively over $100,000 line of credit to press our records with no Dun and Bradstreet, no credit, no credit check, no nothing. Y'all good for it because y'all sell records. Well, Lisa was Egyptian lover's girlfriend, and she ran this company because Egypt was all over the country being Egypt. And he made the mistake of pissing her off. I'm gonna put it like that. He pissed her off, and basically what he did is he was out spending money on his American Express card, and she getting the bill. And who the hell you buy this watch for? And what room, what hotel you go to, and blah blah blah. Make a long story short, she decided to get at him, but she did it through us, and it created such a tenfold situation that we ended up folding the company, man. We made over $1 million the first year, man. No company does that, dude. We made over $1 million the first year in business. We had, like I said, we had the Rodney and Joe Cooley album. We had Supersonic before it went to Ruthless. Okay, you know, people don't understand that before we broke Supersonic at West Coast record distributors, and then Rudy sold the contract to Ruthless. The Rodney and Joe Cooley, they tried to buy Rodney and Joe Cooley. We wouldn't sell Egypt wouldn't sell it. We also broke King T. Okay, I also broke Compton's Most Wanted, CMW. Okay, so all these groups were coming through West Coast record distributors, the second generation of West Coast hip hop, and she decided she was going to start. How can I say this? Reappropriating some of the funds. Okay. And then she would blame it on us. And bottom line is, I didn't know what happened. Plus, I had a record deal with Atlantic, and the deal was a done deal. All I had to do was wait for a phone call, and when the phone call came, I didn't find this out till years later, man, that she intercepted the phone call and told the people that I didn't want the deal. Okay, I changed my mind. And when she saw me in public, she took off running. I saw her at a cable company one day. She acted like she had to go get her phone, but she was real nervous, you know. And it's been known that Lonzo does have a somewhat of a temper, especially when it comes to his money. So the guy, that's why I couldn't get mad about my portrayal in the movie, because I can't be that guy. Most people had the other side to him. I would never hurt her, but I guess she knew from some of my previous situations that what she had done called for a good old ass whooping. I wouldn't have gave it to her, but I damn sure would have loved to, because she cost me $100,000 plus. So yeah, Doc, that's always gonna be a sore spot. Did I answer your question?
That was a nice surprise, I guess. I was actually thinking about the meeting at Martoni's restaurant.
Oh, see that? Well, that was another, and even with Jerry Heller, man. But you mentioned about Jerry Heller earlier. In Jerry's book, we called that meeting at Martoni's restaurant. In his book is something totally different, man. It's amazing. That's why I had to write my book, because people forget. People turn themselves into heroes, and everybody else is a zero. Because I got to be the hero. We called that meeting to call him on the carpet for representing Eazy-E and the NWA. And in his book, he says he called it. No, you didn't call the meeting. No, you didn't do that, because Lisa, that's something that she did. Because at that time, Jerry Heller represented Egyptian Lover and World Class Wrecking Crew, and he wanted to continue working with us, but we just didn't feel that what Eazy them was doing, man, was really conducive to what we needed in our community, Doc. And I still feel that way. I still take credit for helping them out, but the backlash of what would happen in the community and what was allowed to take place, you know, they can open that door. Although they all got rich doing it, but they open that door. And like I said before, it was something that in the beginning nobody wanted. It's just amazing. Just like Muhammad Ali, can nobody stand his ass either. But as soon as he started shaking and carrying on, and he became a national hero. But people forget that Muhammad Ali was one of the most hated athletes in the world. Same thing with Colin Kaepernick. You know, they can't stand his ass right now because he's speaking his mind. But at some point in time, he will be an American hero because that's what America does when you try to give them change. They always resist your ass first, and then they make you a hero, especially after you're gone. I'm trying to get mine now before I check out of here. Shit.
I go and post every now and then links to Muhammad Ali speaking back in the day. It sounds just like Malcolm X. No different.
You know, dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Back in the day when I grew up, all this stuff would not be happening if the athletes, man, Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, everybody would be having a fit. Okay, if you carried a ball or swung a bat, you pretty much was down with the cause. Okay, these cats nowadays, man, give me a blunt and a bottle of Ciroc, and I'm cool. You know, give me some likes on Facebook. No, I ain't gonna say that. Here's what they say. Okay, but don't get me started.
All right, the name Maury Alexander, does it mean anything to you? And tell me.
Maury Alexander was the first person. It was Jerry Heller's business partner. They had a company called Heller Alexander. They was a management company, and he was the first person that I was ever warned about in the record industry. Etta James, who was my neighbor, was before she passed. She was my neighbor. Explained to me that if he's involved, be very careful. And I asked her about Jerry Heller. She said she didn't know Jerry Heller, but she also said Etta had a very funny way of keeping things together. If two dogs lie together, they both gonna have fleas. So just watch yourself, you know. So that was my experience with dealing with him. I'm quite sure I got some other ones I forgot about, but that's where, when you say his name, that's the first thing came to mind.
You stayed next door to Etta James. Tell me about Etta. Wow.
I mean, Etta she lives about 2 houses from me, and Etta is a family friend. My dad used to cut a line. Actually, that's how he met her, cut a line. And my brother became her road manager and a good friend of hers. And the house that I live in right now, that I've been in for the past God knows how long, Etta was the one that brought it to my attention because it used to be owned by Johnny Otis, another blues singer. Johnny Otis was the Dr. Dre of the 50s and 60s. He was a doo-wop artist, but he was a bad boy back in his day. He had just built the studio on the back of his house, and he messed around and got rich off of a song. Off Back to the Future, the movie Back to the Future. And when he blew up, he bought him a house, bought him a mansion down in Altadena, left his house vacant. Etta knew about it and turned me on to it, and we stayed in contact till she passed. I was at her house about 2 weeks before she died. Very nice lady, very, very outspoken lady. She told me no matter what, speak your mind, because they're gonna allow you enough as it is.
Now, you had said you had to bribe Dre to turn out the lights.
Yeah, they man, them cats. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was, when you had said that and you were talking about Dre was supposed to be producing world-class record crew. Man, I wish that would have worked out. But what's the deal with having to bribe him on turn out the lights?
Well, back then, man, them guys would go through money like crackheads go through crack. I mean, I get them guys $1,000 on Monday. They be broke on Tuesday, okay? And we always got paid on Monday because we go on tour, do our shows. Once I settle up with the managers and everybody, I paid everybody on Monday. And like I said, them cats would go through money like it's nobody's business, man. And we stopped touring for a while. the phone wasn't ringing for us to go and do no gigs. And I had this idea to do another song, another ballad, which was our calling card at that time. We had Juice and Surgery, we had The Fly, but no record we ever made got the airplay that turned out that our Lovers did. So I wanted to do another ballad, and nobody wanted to do it. And I had to go find some money just to get them to go to the studio. In fact, it worked out to my advantage because I ended up writing everybody's parts. Okay? I wrote the whole song. Hook, Dre's part, Yellow's part, Shakespeare, everybody's part. And when they left, that was like my party gift. And they left, the song didn't do nothing, man, for about 3 or 4 months. And then, first, I think it was like the first of the year, 1988, it became the Negro National Anthem. And they swore up and down that I knew it was going to be a hit record. That's why I didn't want to keep renew the contract, which was the biggest lie I ever told.
Right. Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? I'm going to throw Adrian Gregory at him, but anybody else have any questions? David, you just came back in. You got any questions for him? Oh, your mic ain't working. Why, everybody having trouble these days. Dave Ford, you got any questions for him? And Keenan just arrived. Welcome, Keenan. What questions you got for the guest?
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. How you guys doing?
All right.
Great. No questions. I didn't want to miss this one. I had to fly down the highway, so I'm just now tuning in. No questions as of right now. What do you feel about the music game right now?
I don't feel it at all, dude. You know, I don't want to disrespect nobody, man, but it's real hard to get into what's being done right now. It's like, it's so easy. It's so easy. My man Ben was on the show earlier. He was saying he bought a bass program for like $300. Okay, that's what it would cost for. I mean, he got unlimited bass sounds. That's what it would cost for 2 reels of tape back when I was in the game. So
right.
It's so easy to make music. You would think they would make better music, but everybody's in such a hurry to be an instant star on Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be, YouTube, whatever they come up with that they think sounds good is okay. And like I tell people all the time, when I speak at universities and colleges, one thing about artists, every project for them was like giving birth. And if you ever seen a mother with an ugly child, no matter how ugly that child is, that's mama's baby. And you can't tell that mama that baby is ugly because you will have a fit and you'll have a fight in your hands. And that's how it is with so much music. You can't tell these kids, hey man, this stuff, that's whack, dude. That's my stuff, dude. You just old. Okay, I am old, but I got taste. Okay? I ain't the only one that feels that way. Okay? Even the kids most of the kids can't stand it. See, understand this. I still run a nightclub. Okay? I'm a grown man. I still run a nightclub. I have events for youngsters at my club. Mel Exotic, they play a lot of the trap music. Okay? I DJ for old people at my club. I do parties for class reunions all the time from the 80s and 90s, whatever the case may be, 70s. And I see 2 things that really bug the shit out of me. One, I play for you. When I see young people do not dance. Okay? Mm-hmm. They don't dance no more. Okay? What's the latest dance? The nay-nay? That's a year or 2 years old. Okay? Could you actually be at a party doing a nay-nay with somebody? That's something you do at the family picnic in the backyard. You don't do that with a girl. Okay? Second thing is, old people party their ass off. Okay? I did a party last weekend for the Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm probably the youngest person in the room. Them old ladies kicked off them shoes, they line dance, they boogie, they cha-cha, they slow dance, they party because their music allow them to do just that. Okay? Their music makes you want to dance. You put on an old cut like Daz by Daz by Brick. You gonna dance, okay?
Right.
You put on Tupac, you put on Tupac, it's all about you. You gonna dance. You put on Biggie, whatever, you gonna dance. Okay? Put on something now, you gonna sit there, and girls, what they do now, this is how they dance, it's how they party. Hey, that's my cut, that's my jam. That's my jam. That's all they do. That's my jam. But brothers, you don't see brothers making that long walk across the dance floor no more. Ask a girl could she dance, and let her tell him no. He got to walk his embarrassed ass back across the floor. That don't happen no more. What happens now is all the girls dance in a circle, and the fellas come up behind them, and he'll start grinding on her butt. And she look around and she sees somebody she know, they may dance for a hot minute. Or the fellas will get together and they'll start dancing in a circle by themselves. Now I'm through right there.
Right.
I'm done.
I'm out the club by that time.
I'm done. Okay. But you can't say nothing about that, man. If you say something about that, you a hater, okay? No, dude, the pants too tight. And no, dude, your shirt too tight, your pants too tight, and why you dancing with that dude? Okay? I'm sorry, man. I can't help you. What you may do? Okay? Either the pants too tight or they falling off their ass, one or two. There ain't no happy medium nowhere. They can't get them off or they can't keep them on. One of the two. What else you got?
So as far as entering into the game itself, I know it's oversaturated as is, and no one's doing anything different. Now that from what I see, what do you think it would take for someone to actually change what the game is doing now?
You just said it. The game is saturated.
Right.
Why you want to jump into a pool of other bullshit and become another number in a pile of bullshit? Okay, go. If everybody, that's what made me successful in everything I've ever done. When everybody else was going left, nigga, I bust a right. Okay, bust a right. Okay, do you? If that ain't what you do, if you ain't doing the dreads and the braided hair and the facial tattoos, stay clean cut. That's what you gonna do, and say something that you feel that you can relate to. Forget trying to be everybody else's friend, man. That don't work. All you gonna do, I tell Alonzo, but why you wanna be a needle? Why you wanna be a needle in the haystack, man? Don't be a needle in the haystack. Set the haystack on fire. Okay? Don't be a needle in the haystack. Set it on fire. Let them come looking for you. Okay?
Understood. Understood.
All right, now in that movie, as you were watching the movie, what was killing you? Like, oh hell no!
You know what killed me in the movie, man? More than anything else, aside from the trying to make me a hater, okay? Anybody know me? No, that's not my role, man. That's not my lane whatsoever. I ain't never been a hater, never will. Don't look good on me, okay? But was something that bugged me more than anything else in that movie, along with all the inaccuracies. Was the probably one that stick out the most to me is every scene. Watch it again. Tell me if I'm lying. Every scene we got alcohol in our hands. Okay. I ain't never drunk like that. Been running nightclubs, man, for over 40 years. Okay. My bartenders asked me, am I sober or some shit? Because I may have one drink a weekend. Okay. When back in the day was at my studio, alcohol wasn't even thought of. Wasn't no alcohol, wasn't no weed. Okay? Back in the day, when they was hanging at my house, nobody drank. Okay? In the movie Straight Outta Compton, every time you saw me, except when I was combing my hair or fussing Dre out, I'm at the house, I got a drink in my hand, I got a bottle of Cavassier or some Maker's Mark or something in my hand, Yella. Don't drink, ain't never drank. But he got drinks in his hand while he talking to Dre. Didn't never drink back then. It was all, and this is the first time people always talk about how Hollywood is so manipulative when it comes to, especially black movies, okay? But this is the first time I've ever been involved in it firsthand. I'm like, damn, why is it so important to us to have alcohol every time in every scene? It wasn't necessary, okay? But for some reason, they found it important that we had to have alcohol in every scene of the movie, which I thought was crazy.
All right, I got that on DVD. I think it's DVD that we
Look
got.
at it.
I'm gonna have to go check that out. I didn't even catch that.
Everybody drank. Everybody tossed it back. Easy didn't drink. Drake was an orange juice drinking fool. That's all the nigga drank was orange juice. Okay? I didn't drink at the house. I mean, I said before, I ran clubs and I stopped drinking on a heavy basis years before I started doing NWA. Long before they came to my house, I'd been through drinking.
Okay, and you said something about unless you was getting on Dre. Why was you getting on Dre?
The real reason why I got on Dre at Dudo's, his cousin Jinx did a rendition called My Penis of My Adidas. When I moved to Dudo's, because Dudo's was 3 times bigger than Eve After Dark, maybe 4 times bigger, okay? Dudo's held like 1,500 people. Compton allowed me to have 14-year-olds in the building. No alcohol, okay? So I got Compton PD as my security. I got 14-year-olds in the room, and everybody's having a good time. Well, I got busy doing. Pulled me to the side. He was real cool. He said, Lonzo, look here, dude. I appreciate y'all, the overtime money you giving me and the fellas, but don't make me do my job. I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, your boy just did an X-rated rap in front of all these kids. That's contributing to the delinquency of a minor. I can arrest you for that. I'm like, what? He says, yeah. So I immediately made a beehive to the stage and got on Dre's ass for allowing Jinx to do that song for all them kids. That was the reason why they had that, even could put that scene together. Because I never really got on Dre's ass about much anything. He wasn't that kind of cat. But that one time right there, when my ass is on the line, you put me on the line behind some bullshit and laughing about it. I never saw Cube do a gangster rap, no lyrics, no gangster song and do those. Never happened. That's what really happened.
Okay. Now, Adrian Gregory. What can you tell me about Adrian Gregory?
Adrian Gregory is still my friend today. I met him through Jerry Heller. Jerry Heller's, after we put Jerry Heller on hold, I was still signed to Jerry, but he was focusing more on NWA. So he kind of assigned me to Adrian Gregory. Adrian, I think I'm maybe a year or so older than Adrian, and we hit it off right away. We became buddies. And Adrian was also managing this little small group out of the Bay Area called Digital Underground, okay, who had this unknown cat in the group named Tupac, okay. So me and Adrian, we working together, doing our thing. Adrian helped me put together West Coast record distributors. Adrian was at the meeting when we decided to give Jerry his pink slip, but I was still contractually signed to Jerry, so Adrian became my manager, and we did a lot of stuff together. Like I said, I just talked to him twice over the weekend. He'll be in town tomorrow for Jerry's funeral, and we still partners today, man. And he was the one. He was Tupac's manager when Tupac went to jail. Suge had to come to Tupac. Suge had to go to Adrian to get Tupac signed to death row and out of jail.
Okay, when you first
go ahead.
Well, when you first heard Straight Outta Compton, what was your first reaction?
It was a good record. It was a good record. I never had a problem with any of their records. If you go into some of their other stuff and you start talking about, 14-year-old girls, I got a problem with that. But for the most part, I never had a problem with Straight Outta Compton.
So you actually, were you impressed with Ice Cube?
Yeah, very much so. Ice Cube was always trying to show me stuff that he was working on, and I regret not paying him more attention. But you got to understand again, I'm 28, he 15. Okay. With Ice Cube, so when he would bring me stuff, I wouldn't, it's like my son right now. I got a 14-year-old son. He always asking me questions about stuff, and sometimes I pay him to pay attention to him. And if y'all got kids, sometimes they talk so much, you only pick up part of what they say. Okay. Well, when Cube left my house, he had just graduated from Taft. His birthday is a couple days before mine, and we had a little birthday dap, blah blah blah. He going to Arizona to study drafting. He left my house when he turned 18. I did not see Cube again until the premiere of Straight Outta Compton. I never saw him on the streets, never saw him at his mom's house, never ran into him anywhere. When Cube saw me at the premiere of Straight Outta Compton, me and Clientele were together. Clientele, original Ripper World Class Record Crew, we were together, and he said, "Hey man, let's go over to holler at Cube." We got Cube security guards. It's funny. I know more security guards than the actual artists. Artists forget, security guards don't. Security guards are fans, so they know who I was. Remember how the Cube for a minute. Come on. So me not being a jocking type of cat, I just posted up in the corner while being Cube's line of sight. Cube was talking to somebody. He looked around and said, "Lonzo." I said, "Yeah, what's up, Cube?" He walked over to me, man, gave me a big old hug, and the first thing came out of his mouth was, "Lonzo, man, I never had a chance to thank you for allowing us to be around your house back in the day. We were some knucklehead kids just trying to get something going on. You put us on. Man, thank you, dude. This is what it all turned out to be." And we got a picture together from that day, man. So of all the cats that I've ever mentored, came to my camp or whatever, Cube probably was the one that, showed the most. Just Dre never thanked me. He never thanked me. Yella, me and him still argue today about Wrecking Crew shit, but Cube was the only one, and Easy never really thanked me, but Easy was the only one out of all of them that would come by the house after he was famous and just kick it. Okay? Where I live is kind of a secluded area. It ain't gated or nothing like that, but you got to know where you're going to get here. I live in a cul-de-sac, it's only about 8 houses on my block. No kids outside, no low riders, nobody playing in the streets. So they can come and go without being harassed. Easy to come over my house and hang out because Yella, at that time, was doing porno. Okay? So Yella was doing porno in my studio. So Easy would come by and hang out with the girls or kick it with me, play dominoes, whatever, and his bodyguards, his 2 big smart bodyguards, John and Jake, would meet him over here and go. He rolled from here. But also, unlike anybody else, Easy always do me a ruthless check to go make something happen for him. I ain't mad at him. We never had a real problem. Once he gave me my money for hooked up with Jerry Etta, I was straight. I don't hold no grudge. He was one of the few guys that ever just, "Hey man, Lonzo, I need you to take care of something for me. Come out, pick up a check, go handle it for me." Because I knew the mayor of Compton. That's why I say my story is much bigger than what people realize. Me and the mayor went to school together at that time. Me and Omar Bradley. So when Easy had a problem, and with Ruthless, I had to go and be a mediator. That kind of stuff that people don't, that people don't know about.
What are some other behind the scene type things that helped make things happen and move things along?
Man, introducing easy to all my my record contacts at the swap meets. I mean, swap meets. I was at one point in time the man of the swap meets because I've been selling to them over the phone. I was selling crew cut product. I had a bootleg record. I had a bootleg record label before I opened up crew cut. I sold underground mixes on 12 inches. So I knew all the swap meet people. I was doing from my Record Shack days, my bootleg days, and now I'm selling legitimate records. So they trusted my opinion, and they always made money with me. The biggest problem with records is that people, they pay cash for them, but if it don't sell, who am I give it back to? So I became the credibility man, okay? So Lonzo, if I had a record that didn't sell, I would trade them out.
Yo, is it me?
Somebody's muted Lonzo. Lonzo, you gotta unmute yourself. It says Lonzo is muted. I don't know.
Pressing a vocal, and this is just my take, you can use it or not. The first thing I want to think about is going to be, ooh, do I have a little tool here? 1 second, let me make a tool.
All right, does everybody only see a black screen for Alonzo?
Yeah, all I see is a black screen.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna have to work to get him back in here. Y'all have no questions for him? Y'all didn't have any questions for Alonzo?
He's talking a lot, man. He's sharing a lot of stuff. He's answering a lot of the questions that I had.
Yes, it sure is.
All right, I'm gonna work to get him back in. Y'all go ahead and hold the conversation with yourselves. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, hey, how y'all doing?
What's up, everyone?
All right. Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure.
And I don't even know if Alonzo knows he's out. I'm gonna send a message. He might be still talking.
Yeah, his screen disappeared. I don't see his screen anymore.
I think I got my mic working. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, cool. How is everybody?
All right, how you doing?
Tired, man. Long night, long day.
Good.
Yeah, I understand.
Busy.
Going.
All right.
I still got a bunch of questions. I'm not going to ask all the questions, but I get a bunch of questions, and I try to give you guys a chance to ask the guests questions. But I definitely come in with plenty.
Right. Yeah, like my man was saying, Alonzo, he answered quite a few of the questions that I had in mind, you know. So.
And he might be rebooting his computer right now or something. His computer might have froze.
All right.
And I don't know if you guys caught it, but Rick St. Hilaire popped in for a little bit. That's Busta Rhymes' personal engineer. He popped in, but he didn't get a chance to say anything, and then he headed out. That's a good dude. Rick, if you're listening, come on in.
Who was that, Mott?
Rick St. Hilaire. Next time he comes to town, I'll let you know, because yeah, he's a good dude, Busta Rhymes dude. Yeah, you should definitely meet him.
Nice.
All right.
He'll be one of my guests sooner or later.
Did you already have him a while back, Matt?
He's been on Hangouts, not as the featured guest, but he comes in, you know, and participates.
The name was familiar.
Rick St. Hilaire, yeah. I definitely used to listen to World Class Wrecking Crew, Lonzo, all of them back in the day. All these groups he's naming. You know, I'm West Coast, so I remember all this stuff.
I got a question for you.
For who?
What happened to that rapper Rapping Forte?
Rapping Forte, I've spoken to Rapping Forte one time on the phone through somebody else because I was actually wanting to do a hangout with him. But
He's still doing it.
Oh yeah, the last thing that I heard was when Drake used his verse. You know, Drake started using his stuff. You know, you get paid off of that.
Yeah, he got paid good.
And so, you know, then you start going around touring and doing your thing off of that. Just like with Drake using Too Short's song "Blow the Whistle." When it first came on, I was like, "What?" I said, "Oh, Too Short paid." And it's like you can get mad at somebody using your stuff, but if they're on that level, that means they got the money to pay you. And if they didn't set it up originally, you know, you get a nice little check or set of checks coming. So, you know, people shouldn't be too mad at Drake using these artists' work because, you know, Drake has to pay.
I don't think we're too mad at Drake at using other people's work. It's more so put off as he's held to a standard of him being the lyricist that he is, to find out that, you know, ghostwriters go on. Now, me personally, I know in the game, ghostwriters are everywhere, so it doesn't really amaze me personally.
These people who are holding things up to a certain standard, an artist will look and say, okay, who's paying my bills? Because if I just made $1 million off of somebody who don't care nothing about that, man, I just made $1 million. And how much did you didn't even buy my stuff? Well, the hell with you. That's a lot of the reaction that people get from, you know, that the artist will give. It's like, you ain't paying my bills. But, you know, I understand where they're coming from.
Let's see.
Give him a call. Y'all go ahead and converse with each other. I'm going to give him a call and see what's happening.
All right.
He'll be talking.
Hey, Keenan, what it is that you do? What you do?
Produce and engineer. Do a little writing here and there.
Oh, okay. All right.
And yourself?
Just engineering. You know, a lot of audio stuff. You know, no writing. Do some production. No writing.
I'm back.
Cheers, man.
Okay.
It happens, bruh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were not, now, what was he in the middle of saying, y'all? Y'all remember what he was in the middle of talking about? Or do you, Lonzo?
Man, I said so much, I forgot what chapter I was on.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay. Were you around for DOC?
Man, DOC came to my house. We met DOC in Texas. He was with another group, the Feel the Fresh crew. And my boy, Dr. Rock, who was in the Feel the Fresh crew, brought DOC to LA to use my studio to do some tracks for Feel the Fresh crew. And Dre stole him.
Dr. Dre stole it?
Yeah. He stole DOC.
Oh, he stole DOC.
Yeah.
I knew DOC had talent. Well, no, you know what? I was going to tell a lie. But there's a song that's from way back in the day that if I would have heard it first, it would have let me know the DOC had talent. It's I Hate to Go to Work. And he was, bruh, just as like he was articulate like Ice Cube. He could tell a story. But when DOC's first album came out with Dre, I can't even lie, bruh. I thought Dre screwed up. I thought this was going to be a bomb, just in a negative way. And my crew, like Drew, Shango, and all of them, they were loving it. And I'm like, man, no. And a few months later, I couldn't quit playing that album.
Wow.
I fell in love with it. And it's like, that's an iconic album. Nobody does it better. But bruh, it's one of those things where you just know somebody done screwed up and you just be totally wrong. That was a very humbling experience for me. But so did you have bad feelings about that or something? Or what's the deal with DOC?
Oh no, we cool. I mean, no. You know, some of these guys they just glazed through my part. You know, they glazed through. The DOC came through on the way out when Dre was on their way out. So we don't have no whole lot of interaction. You know, we cool. As far as I know, I ain't got no problem with him.
And you were basically a hub for everything to go down.
I was the hub, baby. I was the hub of the hub city. Everything came through. I mean, understand this. I got the only club. I got the only studio. I'm the only one know how to make records. So everybody came to me. It was two other guys knew how to make records in LA besides me, Cletus Anderson and Duffy Hooks. But I was the only one that people knew or felt comfortable talking to because I was accessible. I'm at the club. You know, everybody knew where I lived at. Everybody hung in my house. You know, both houses I had. I was a spot to hang out at. So, you know, I was plus I was closer to their age than Duffy and Cletus was. Cletus is older than I am. So, you know, it just made for a much cooler situation.
How did DJ?
Who?
Okay.
Now he jumped off. I'm still here. I think he was about to ask about DJ Quik.
Yeah, what can you tell us about DJ Quik?
Not a whole lot, man. DJ Quik slid right through my hands.
Wow.
DJ Quik slid right through my hands. DJ Quik was he's another youngster out of the CPT that I did the compilation, and I had a guy on my compilation named Quicksand, and everybody kept asking for DJ Quik, and I'm thinking it was Quicksand. And no, it's DJ Quik. And by the time I found out who it was, his mixtape blew up so big, you know, it was cool.
Okay.
You know, and he's one of the first cats that ever claimed a set on record that I can recall.
How did he get so good? How did DJ Quik get so good?
DJ Quik is an actual musician, man. That's first and foremost. He is a musician. Okay. The man can play instruments. I think it's keyboards, and maybe guitar. I'm not sure, but DJ Quik was. I know this is gonna sound messed up. He was my favorite producer because I love his sound. He has his own sound. His sound ain't borrowed from nobody else and not copied from another record and just reproduced. He actually has his own sound, and I think if Quik, if it wasn't for Dre, Quik might have been bigger because, you know, Quik, he's a very talented cat. Lyrically, he's talented. He's a very talented cat. Lyrically and vocally, he got his own style. Musically, he has his own style. And I told him, we were together one day, I told him, I said, boy, your only problem you got is you cuss too damn much. If your records were not gangster related, you probably go a whole lot further. Perfect example, the cut he did with Tony. That's still a great dance cut. Still a great dance floor cut. But, you know, he likes that gangster thing, and, you know, sometimes you can get stuck in your own little world sometimes. But he can definitely score a movie without a problem. He just got to figure out a way to do it without cussing everybody out or being so nasty. I like it, but, you know, I ain't everybody in the world.
Yeah, that Tupac album, All Eyes on Me, is when I actually realized that he really was that good. When he came out with Quik as a Name and all that, you know, I was loving it. And I was like, okay, that sound on Quik as a Name was a very pristine sound. And I was like, who is this dude? And then but that Tupac All Eyes on Me is what got me when he came out as David Blake.
David Blake is his name.
Yeah.
Also, another producer that don't get no credit for Tupac's album, was Johnny J. Johnny J was another one of my proteges. Johnny J worked out of my studio for quite some time, hung out with Dre, and in fact, I sold him his first drum machine. And he did a lot of work on Tupac's the Double album, All Eyes on Me. And he got killed, but he had just got his money from death row before he died.
Did that have anything to do with Johnny getting killed?
Nah, Johnny was in jail. Johnny liked to drink and drive, so he got like his second or third DUI. So he had to go do some time out for a little while. And while he was in jail, allegedly he had some problems in jail. Had nothing to do with death row that I know of.
Johnny J and DJ Pooh, to me, don't get enough credit for stuff they've done.
It's hard to get credit when everybody looking at Dre and Q and Easy as being into everything in music. Okay, it's hard to get, you know. Another boy don't get no credit was Mixmaster Spade. Spade was a bad boy in his time. Spade got killed on a motorcycle a few years back. Very talented cat. Okay, one of the first guys to talk about real gangster stuff, and they kind of got that from Spade, because Spade was already selling records in the street before Easy even made his first record. Okay, Spade was talking about selling dope way before Easy was. Okay. You know, Spade was one of them guys that did what he said he was doing. And, you know, these guys, if you don't know about them, they'll be footnotes in history. And I ain't going out like that. At least I'm trying not to.
Now, how did Greg Mack actually help?
See, there I go again. Okay. Me and Greg Mack, I closed the Eve After Dark down and was about to open up Dudo's. And Dudo's was so big, I was kind of nervous about going to Dudo's because it was so much bigger than Eve After Dark. But it was around the corner, but it was in Compton. I was having problems with the sheriff over here. They was giving me the blues, so I had to get out. I had to get out of LA County and go someplace else. And Compton was where I went. And I met Greg Mack 3 weeks after I shut down the Eve After Dark, and about 3 weeks before I opened up Dudo's. Greg and I hooked up, we went to lunch, hung out, and I told him what I was doing, and he didn't understand it at first. They wasn't doing this in Texas. Okay? I was making bootleg records also. I was doing my bootleg era, and Greg heard some of my bootleg mixes and wanted to know how many do I have. At that time, I had about 5 or 6 of them. I need one every day. Huh? He says, I'll give y'all the records. I'll give y'all the tape to record it, but I need a new mix every day for the Traffic Jam. Okay? The Traffic Jam was a special program that Greg did every day from 5 to 5:15. My average mix was about 15 minutes. Okay? So KDAY didn't want to pay us for the mix because it was so unheard of. Nobody ever done this before. So they didn't want to pay us for it. But me being the true pimp that I am, figured out a way to get paid. I said, I will deliver you mixes every day if you'll give me 2 commercials before and after the mix. All you got to say is the Traffic Jam is brought to you by the World Class Wrecking Crew, live every Friday at Dudo's Music Center, 135th and Central. Okay? I got a plug before and one after. Those plugs actually would only cost me about $15 a piece, but because they were doing the hottest slot of the day at that time, because nobody ever done a mix show before. Everybody and his mama had their boom boxes on record at 459 in LA. Okay, so that blew up. That little segment blew up so big I never had to buy advertising for Dudos. Never. Greg saw us having so much success to do those, and because now he's getting the records played and getting them tested through the traffic jam, he's getting the acts to bring to do those for free. So he's blowing up at his job because he's breaking music left and right. He's giving me the acts to help promote the acts that he's breaking. I'm making money at the door. I do those. Dudos is blowing up because it's where all the acts is coming. And it was a hell of a thing. Plus, Wrecking Crew, LA Dream Team, Ice-T, King T, not King T, I'm sorry, not King T. New Edition, everybody's coming to do those. LL Cool J coming to do those. Everybody's coming to do those. And in do those, because me and Greg Mack had such a good thing going, I would take Greg Wrecking Crew songs straight from the studio on cassette, and he would cart them up and play them, have them on the radio before I got back on the freeway. And because Greg was doing me like that, everybody wanted to get to Greg. He became the man to go to get your record on the radio. So again, it put him in a powerful position. And you know, people that either you came to me to get to Greg, or you went to, if you could go to Greg direct, you did that. Most of the time, they came through me. So it gave me a little bit even more street credibility. But Greg became the go-to man, especially for Eazy-E and NWA, because when they first dropped their songs, they was cussing. After about 3 or 4 remixes, they finally got the cussing down. And I think they started reversing stuff then because they couldn't really take it out completely. So they started reversing stuff. And Greg Mack played a major role in getting all that started. And plus, he was also bringing in the acts from New York, bringing them to either Dudos or the Casa or the skating ring out in the valley. So yeah, he became a super powerhouse in the West Coast until they sold KDAY.
Okay, yeah, because I was reading something about Dr. Dre and DJ Yella doing mixtapes for KDAY, but this is the actual story.
Yeah, so they would do the mix. I take it to KDAY. Greg once he got it carted up, I take the mix back. I turn it into a record the next day or the next couple of days. So my mix catalog grew like a son of a gun. You got to be a hustler if you're gonna survive in the Reagan area, man.
Now, Disco Construction.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about it.
Disco Construction was the name of my mobile DJ company. My favorite group of the 70s was Brass Construction. I thought that was the coldest name a band ever had, was Brass Construction. And they had them big-ass horn sections, and I just love Brass Construction. So when I was trying to come up with a name for my DJ company, because I was a mobile DJ, I figured I'd name it Disco Construction because I came up in the disco construction, disco era. And I named it Disco Construction, and that was my production company as well as my DJ company name. And later, one of my partners saw my guys tearing down my equipment, and in a joking way, "Oh, you Disco Construction? That must be the Wrecking Crew," and that's how it stuck.
Okay, and King T got started during those days. You got any information on that?
Not a whole lot. King T started off with my boy Unknown DJ, just like Ice-T did. And but King T got picked up by Greg Mack and went over to Capitol. And I think Unknown did a few songs on King T's album. But King T and I have always been cool. I just find it hard to really support the gangster movement because I know too many cats are getting killed behind that kind of stuff. So I just kind of kept my distance on that. Personally, we cool.
Unknown DJ, my memory is saying he's the one who had the bag over his head. Am I right?
Unknown, he tried the bag thing for a while, but that became too much of a clown thing. So he started wearing glasses and hats and stuff like that.
Okay, what happened to him? Is he still around?
He's I got to pick him up in a few minutes. He's an engineer for my my webcast.
Okay, because yeah, I remember he was putting it in back in the day. You know, I remember that.
He's always been a reclusive cat, never liked the limelight, and just one of them kind of cats. Just hey, that's why he unknown.
Okay, now you guys, anybody got questions for him? Y'all better jump in. We only got him for so long.
Lonzo, I got a question for you, man. What do you listen to recreationally these days? Like when you're not working with your own music or whatever, and you just for your own enjoyment, what do you put on and listen to?
Man, if you get in my car right now, I probably have one of the most eclectic mixes. I got a thumb drive in my car, and it has everything on. I got everything on there from 3 Dog Night. I ain't lying. I'm a 3 Dog Night fan. First, I'm old. I'll tell you, I'm an old motherfucker man. I love 3 Dog Night. Okay, 3 Dog Night, Tupac, and a lot of R&B, a lot of Cameo, a lot of Slave, a lot of Prince, Temptations, Dramatics. You know, I'm a DJ. I love good music. Okay, so I don't have any restrictions on what I will listen to, because that's what I do. I have, you know, I specialize as a DJ. I tell people all the time, as a DJ, I was a fantastic house party DJ, and I still am. A house party DJ is different from a club DJ. Okay, so that's how I keep my chops tight. At a house party, you may have to play Al Green and Marvin Gaye, followed by Luther Vandross and Tina Marie, followed up with some Tupac or some Biggie or DMX. That's how house parties go, because you got so many different types of people in the room. You got to try and touch all of them. It ain't like it is now, where everybody just got one thing they play, and you know they don't come up for air. I call it coming up for air. They don't come up for air at all. Well, at a house party, everybody got to breathe. So my music collection, man, is very eclectic, and like I said before, man, ain't no one person. It all depends on what comes up on the track, dude. It's some gangster rapping. I got plenty of Quik. It's so many songs on the thing, man. I don't know what's gonna pop up sometime. And,
how often do you go seeking new music though, and just go researching and just digging around for what's coming out?
You know what? I used to belong to a record pool, man, for a while, and the record pool didn't do me no good, because it was like I told myself, I play mostly for grown folks, so it's real hard. Most of the rap stuff was coming with mostly rap, and especially this mumble rap stuff. I couldn't really get to it, and a lot of times I'll just go listen to my other more active buddies. I'm not as active as I'd like to be, but I'll go listen to my other buddies play and see what they got, and you know, I get it from them, or you know, just figure out what they got going, and you know, and pick it up from them. I pick up a lot of music I get from going to other people's sets, man, because you know, it's everybody plays the same thing, but every once in a while you'll hear a special tune, man, that's like, okay, well, I'm gonna put that in my mix. And because I play for older people most of the time, they require that little different thing. They want to hear something different every once in a while. So a lot of times I'll give an obscure artist a shot, especially an R&B artist, that I probably wouldn't give to a hip hop artist, because I don't know what direction they're gonna go.
What? Hello.
Yes.
What is your what is the kind of music that you would try to put in with your mix of stuff? Do you have a specific or idea of the sound that you go for, or is it just anything that's new or fresh that you kind of like to listen to?
I like anything that's gonna make people dance. I don't care what the dance is. If it's cha-cha, break dancing, two-step, whatever the case may be. As a old school house party DJ, I find a house party DJ is different from a club DJ. At a house party DJ, the applause or the appreciation from your audience is by them dancing. It's like a cook. If you a good cook, ain't nobody eating, well, something's wrong, okay? If you a good cook, at the end of the night, should be no trays full of food nowhere. Wherever there's a tray full of food, people didn't like that, okay? And for me, as an old school DJ, if you ain't got your shoes in your hand when I get through with you, I didn't do something right. Okay? If your shoes are not in your hand, or if you ain't dancing if you're not dancing in your stockings or your socks or whatever, or if you ain't complaining about your feet hurting, when I get through with you after about 4 or 5 hours, because an old school DJ, I can't do an hour set. I do my sets of 4 or 5 hours. That's what I was trained on. I programmed the whole event. I lay the soundtrack down. I don't just play for a hot 20 minutes or a hot 30 minutes. I got to play, as an old school DJ, I'm used to playing all night long. So I take you through the roller coaster, and at some point in time, if you ain't pull your shoes off to rub your feet, my job has not been done.
Okay. Do you do what the typical DJs do, which is go from like lively music and then go into slow jams at the end before you come out? If you get what I mean, before everybody and stuff, or is it just a live party?
I do a little bit of both of them, baby, because it depends on who I'm playing for. If I'm playing for a younger crowd, I will make them dance a lot longer because they can. Okay, but it all depends on how old the crowd is. If the crowd's like 40 years old, I give them a hot 20 minutes. They're gonna sit their asses down no matter what I do. Okay, they're gonna sit their asses down. I don't give a damn what I'm playing. They're gonna sit down. But if I'm playing for an older crowd, I may give them a hot 10 minutes and let them cool down with a cha-cha, couple of cha-chas. And if it's where there's couples, I may throw a slow record in there. But only maybe 1 or 2. I'm gonna pick it right back up, because as soon as you do that, if you play too many slow records, they're gonna start talking about you. The DJ must be in love. He done played all these slow records. So then and then line dance. I usually the ratio for men and women are so drastic. I gotta play quite a few line dances. So all that's part of what I have to do. As what you have to do if you're gonna be a decent DJ. Understand who you're working with, and understand how they can't take. If I'm playing for a 50-year-old crowd, they can't take 20 minutes of straight dancing. Somebody's gonna have a heart attack.
Okay. Do you have like an email and stuff so I could send you my stuff and see if you would play it?
You ready? You got a pen handy?
Wait 1 sec. Just grab one.
She can always replay this and come back to it.
Go ahead.
Lonzo, LONZO WMS @gmail.com.
@gmail.com.
Yes. I'm on social media, the real Lonzo NWA. That's my Twitter and my Instagram, and on my Facebook is Alonzo Williams. I got 2 or 3 of those.
Okay, okay. I'll probably add you on Facebook, to be fair, but yeah. Okay.
All right. Fantastic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now, if I'm ever at one of these parties you're talking about, and there's some 50-year-olds out there dancing for 20 minutes, right when they tired and they ready to break down, I want you to throw on some Marvin Gaye, some Sam Cooke, some Bobby Womack. I want you some of that undeniable stuff to where they just lose their mind. Push them to the limit.
That's why they hired me.
Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
That's why they hired me. I stopped DJing for a while, man, because I said, who wants an old ass DJ at their party? But old ass people do. So I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. This is crazy as hell, but I've been playing forever. I ain't never had to scratch a record. I never had to scratch. I blend, I mix. I never had to scratch, because if the few times I tried to scratch the records that I play, they almost rushed the DJ booth on my ass. So I stopped scratching. You can't scratch Isley Brothers, man. How you gonna scratch that? Okay? You can't. I mean, no, they don't. No. Okay. So I mean, that's just a different. It's a different way of doing the same thing.
What would you do today different to try to make an artist successful? Since you don't have things exactly like you had them back then, what would you do now to try to make an artist break through and be successful?
I would try and coordinate with more of these internet radio shows, because everybody got one. Everybody got an outlet. It's just that they're not unified like a network. There should be a network of internet radio shows where everybody can program solid. You can program solid music, and just like the big boys do over the airwaves, you can program. You know, a lot of these independent DJs should have their own station and program a certain format, just like they did back in the day. You're gonna hear certain records on certain radios and let them run for a while so people can get used to hearing them. But right now, everything is so scattered. There's no cohesiveness that when you hear something, if you don't catch it from the very beginning and catch everybody's name, you never hear it again. Because like I got one guy, he has an internet radio show. He prides himself on never playing the same song twice, which is okay, but how does that do the artist any good if you only play it one time?
That sounds nuts to me.
Well, that's his thing. I only play one song, play a song one time. Okay, dude, no problem. I ain't mad at you. So, but again, if they had like a network of internet radio stations, other than iHeart or Tune In, just hey man, we got these stations right here. We're gonna play this kind of music and give artists a chance to be heard. And because they all of them, it's right there. It's just not organized. You have all the outlets, you have all the music. It's just that it's not organized and it's scattered. And like I saw on Facebook, we not outmanned, we just unorganized. That's all.
All right. Anybody got questions for him? We have a whole bunch of Cali DJs that come together. I'm drawing a blank on the name right now, but are you a part of any of that? Where the radio DJs get together and work to push artists out?
I hang out with everybody, man. I try to. I'm like I said, I have a radio show, a webcast I do myself, and that's one of the things I'm gonna do for my artists. If somebody, my first thing is I ask them to come to the club and perform and see what the audience response is before I even go through all that. Okay, send me a tape. Then I want to see your show, because if you don't have a show, if you're just grabbing your nuts and talk and looking at the ground, you need some stage preparation, because a lot of times your stage show can keep you working even when your record ain't. Okay, if you're a good performer and everybody's not a good performer, even if you got a hit record, don't make you a good performer. Okay, so all these things have to be taken into consideration when you start to get into this game. You just can't go out there, drunk, high, grabbing your nuts, with 40 cats on stage behind you, doing nothing. It's crazy, man. So that's where I come in. I try to teach them a different way, and everybody ain't gonna learn, but everybody, I ain't gonna teach everybody no way. So. You muted. Oh, go ahead.
You've given us your email. Is there any other contact information you'd like to give for people that want to get in contact with you?
Like I said, my Instagram, the real Alonzo NWA. Same thing for Twitter. I'm on everybody's social media. I might be on Tinder. Ain't no telling. Anyway. Facebook, I got a business line. I get that out 2323-920-4896. Don't get mad if I don't answer right away though, because I'm usually down here in my other office, but that's my studio number. That's where everybody calls me at when they want to talk to me on the show. So if you leave a message on there, I'll get back to you.
One more time, I'm sorry. 323
920-4896.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And Rudy Pardee. Is it Pardee? How do you say his name?
Pardee. Actually, Rudy Parison, but he called it Rudy Pardee for record purposes.
Tell me about him and all the stuff, like how that all worked out with you, because you guys weren't even battling back then. I see a lot now where people, instead of working together, they work against each other. You guys were, you know, all working together.
Man, we had a ball together, man. We had our little friendly rivalries, of course. Everybody wanted to be the king of L.A. And the Dream Team was hot. We got hot, they got hot, we got hot, and they got hot. And we were both managed by the same company. Jerry Heller had us. His partner, Maury Alexander, had the L.A. Dream Team. And, of course, I felt that the Dream Team got a little more attention than we did because we were both up for the same show. Here we go. Check this out. We both were supposed to be on What's Happening, but they got the gig and we didn't get it. Remember that? Remember What's Happening?
Yeah, I remember.
The group called
Rerun.
Huh?
With Rerun?
Yeah. They got a spot on What's Happening. What's Happening Now or something like that. And rumor has it, well, Jerry said that they didn't want to do us because I had a beard. They didn't want me to appear too old. Yeah, right. Rudy older than my ass is. But Rudy died a few years ago, man, in a scuba diving accident.
Ah, didn't know that.
Yeah, he died. I saw Snake Puppy Friday, and he's trying to get with another one of the local cats to reinvigorate the Dream Team and just do some shows. All of us are coming back to do shows again, man. I mean, the era has started to peak, and we got the hits in the track record now. If Vanilla Ice can get on to do a show, I damn sure can.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you guys would come back with and start doing stuff. Paul Mute, welcome. You came in. I don't know if your mic's working, but if it is, you got any questions, Mitchell?
Can you guys hear me?
We hear you. We can't see you, but go ahead.
Fair enough. Turn my cam off.
You got any questions?
Alonzo, you were talking about doing radio shows before.
Right.
Like, well, what kind of metrics are we looking at here? Because I see your credentials of like having a past of having high success, but your records show, like, as far as I can tell, like a bit of a gap lately, at least the last couple years. So I was like kind of wondering like what rough metrics you're working at right now.
In regards to a radio show or music?
Just in general, like across the board.
Well, you know, Doc, like I was talking to another lady earlier today, I've always had dual careers. I've always owned a nightclub or managed a nightclub at some point. And in the past year and a half, so the limelight of world-class record crew has been ignited again. And clientele and I have gotten together. We did a show last week. We got a couple more booked right now. And we got to go in the studio and do something else. And I'm going to lead by example. I plan to make a danceable, inspiring cut that will hopefully, make some noise. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. And that's what I do, Doc. I was very disenchanted with the record industry for a long time. I stopped touring because once upon a time, Jerry Heller had us booked with NWA, Just Ice, and a bunch of other gangster rappers. And I had the biggest song at the time. But shoot, every time we go after every concert, it's a melee, it's a fight, it's a shoot, it's a stabbing. I don't do that, okay? I ain't got to do all that. So like I told my boy, I said, man, I can do other things besides get shot at or be a part of the situation. So we kind of set out most of the new millennium, and now that we halfway through it and folks have come to their senses and more acts of our caliber are starting to get shows. It's the time is right. The time is right.
All right, that sounds good. I just was wondering how that was up, because my background is in more of online entertainment, and Matt knows me from like a long time ago here, and I recently started being like full-time into more movie and game stuff.
Okay.
So when I do stuff with like entertainers, it usually is like you get at least 100,000 views, plays, or whatever, or it's not even remotely happening because it's not going to gross enough.
Interesting. I'd like to talk to you, Doc.
You're talking to me right now.
Off campus. I gotta leave in a few minutes. What you got a number or something, or email or something we can hook up at?
Yeah, palmmute@palmmute.nl.
Palmmute?
@palmmute.nl.
Okay.
PALMMUTE.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
.nl for the Netherlands.
Oh, okay. .nl? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic.
I got him as a friend on Facebook. If you have any issues, just let me know, and I could, we'll work it.
You got it. All right, folks. We good?
Lonzo, I appreciate you, bro. I'm a hip hop head. You are a part of that hip hop history. I don't care what they've been saying about you. I like you. So respect to you. Like I said, when I met you, props to you. Thank you for doing this. And anybody else?
Just want to say thanks for the info, man. Just thanks for everything.
I'm glad y'all sat with me, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
I'll contact you as soon as I can.
You got it. Thank you.
Thanks for your time and your insight, man.
All right, thank you. All right, y'all folks have a good day.
You too.
All right, bro. You handle your business. I appreciate you.
I'm out. Peace.
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 Peace.